Hello and welcome back to the Movie Attic. I'm Mike, and as you can see, this is the attic where I discuss and review movies, DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks for all the nice people out there in YouTube land. As you might have guessed or saw, I'm dressed differently, of course. That's because today's big movie is a silent movie. So without further ado, this is my silent movie getup, by the way. Today's big feature film is The Bat from 1926. Roland West is the director. Trying to constantly improve the channel, of course. I have some notes to actually give you more information than normal. The Bat is from 1926. It's 86 minutes long. It's a new 2K digital restoration by Undercrank Productions from 35mm film elements. It has a couple special features. One is a 1926 short movie, 18 minutes long, called A Fraternity Mix-Up. It also has a short documentary on the life and career of director Roland West that's about 9 minutes long. And it features a new musical score by Ben Modell, who seems like he's very involved in these projects. Of course, I knew nothing of this movie till a couple weeks ago or so. There's a channel I watch on YouTube that tells you what's coming out on Blu-ray and 4K, on Tuesday. And this movie was part of it. There's the back, just in case you want to read up any more than what I've already said. So, of course, I watched a trailer, and there was actually a YouTube channel that did a pretty in-depth review of The Bat. And I found it very interesting, so of course I ordered it. Now the only caveat with this Blu-ray is it's a BDR recordable disc. It's not a factory pressed disc, which I didn't realize until I'd already got it. Actually, I didn't realize it till after I was done watching the movie. Just because I happened to look up and that's what it said on my player. And then when I researched it, it's like people were complaining that it was not on a factory pressed disc. But it looked good to me. If you're into silent films, the video quality can vary from frame to frame and depend on how many reels it is. Can vary from reel to reel depending on how the movie elements were stored and how well they were kept. I was actually surprised at the video quality when I first started watching this. It's like, well, this doesn't look too bad, and then later in the movies you could see where there was some damaged frames of the film, and there was even a part, I think there was two parts, where it was just a picture up on the screen while the audio music was playing, and you could tell it was just a still frame, so I assume there was some missing frames there. If you've watched silent movies at all, sometimes you'll see where somebody's walking towards a door or something, and all of a sudden they're at the door. I assume that also is missing frames, and this had a few sections of that, where it skipped ahead, so to speak. Of course, it's in black and white. And I like the musical score seemed pretty good. Me and my wife see a silent movie every year at our local theater with a live orchestra, so this stuff's right up our alley. I think silent movies are pretty neat. I know not everybody enjoys silent movies. In fact, my kids don't like silent movies, and of course there's people who don't like black and white movies, there's people who don't like subtitled movies. But to each their own. I mean, if everybody liked the same thing, that would be a pretty boring place. This director, Roland West, he also did The Bat Whispers, which was from 1930, which was a remake of this movie, only it was in widescreen, and of course it was a talkie, as they say. The only other case, which I'm not a film historian, the only other case that I'd seen this where a director had remade their own film from a silent to a sound recording or a talkie was Cecil B. DeMille, when he had a silent version of the Ten Commandments, and then about 30 years later he made one in color and, had sound and everything. So I thought that was pretty cool because that was the only one I knew of at the time until I got this movie. It's the story of a thief, kind of a bank robber. He has a little bat calling card which he'll leave that has a little note for the police chief or whoever picks it up. He's robs this bank, and then he goes to this mansion, and then the rest of the film, 90% of this film, takes place in this house, and it's almost like a Clue type thing of who is the bat. You get all these characters that keep coming in, and one of them, you're thinking one of them's the bat, and a lot of them are acting suspicious. Some are, some are real likable, and you're like, no, that's not gonna be the bat. So it was cool to try and figure out who the bat really was. At first, I thought maybe the bat was a supernatural being because there was shots of a literal bat flying around the different buildings, and I thought, of course, like anybody would, like he transformed into a bat. But that is not the case. He is a human in a costume. Sorry to spoil it for anybody. But the film's almost 100 years old, so I think I'm going to create a new phrase, all spoilers are off. So after 50 years, it's hard to spoil a movie, especially if you see a trailer for it. But, so yeah, the rest of the movie takes place in his house. They finally catch the bat and unmask him. And I thought it was pretty interesting who the bat was, and of course I enjoyed it because I enjoy silent movies and stuff. Like I said, there was a lot of likable characters, there was a lot of characters to dislike, there was a lot of sneaky characters, and like I said, we go to these silent movies at the theater, and they always encourage us to applaud when the hero wins, and of course boo and hiss when some not so nice characters are on screen. So this seemed like a healthy mix of good people and bad people in the movie. And two, apparently the Bat and the Bat Whispers were inspiration for Batman, and there's actually even a primitive kind of bat signal in this movie itself. So I thought that was really cool. And I'd never heard of the movie, like I said, and apparently it was a lost film for the longest time until it was discovered or rediscovered in I think it was the 1980s. So there you have it. Hopefully I gave you more information than I normally do. Like I say, I'm always trying to improve the show. I know it's hard, especially if I'm going to be on camera. But if I was to rate this movie, I would give it 7.5 rolls of pink insulation out of 10. Like I said, I liked it. I enjoy silent movies. I'll probably end up getting the Bat Whispers next, just to see, that same dynamic, but only with sound and all that stuff. Plus, I wouldn't mind seeing it in widescreen. And I think there's 3 different cuts of that movie on that disc. So, until next time when I'm in the attic with a completely different movie, I thought this being The Bat would be appropriate for the Halloween season and my first silent movie review. So there you have it. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.